BYUSN party rolling with another BYU TV football analyst and former BYU linebacker standout Isaiah Kaufusi is joining the program right now. We are on the topic of superlatives, Isaiah, and calling our shot, specifically for how fall camp is going to go for BYU. So let's start with our question of the day, which is if you had to pick one player today that by the end of camp will be your fall camp MVP, who are you going with?
Great question. I heard his name earlier, too. I'm going with Keanu Hill.
Okay. You like Keanu at tight end.
Yep. Yeah, hear me out. Here's why. I love the fact that he's changed positions. He's in a new room. He's got experience. And for me, right, when you get guys that have kind of their backs against their wall here, to me, it's just like the recipe for an MVP. So looking forward to him, balling out fall camp, kind of taking that into the season.
Isaiah, you played linebacker, so there were times you were matched up one-on-one in space with tight ends. What kind of challenges does a guy like Keanu Hill, as they move him to tight end, create, whether it's a linebacker covering him or now they decide, no, we got to go smaller and quicker, let's go with a defensive back. What does Keanu bring to that position that makes it tough?
Yeah, I mean, it's his receiver experience, right? It's his ability to create separation in space, right? But then he also has the length and the size now, right, with all the weight that he's gained and the muscle he's put on to really be a physical force. So that's why, I'm super high on Keanu. I think that entire tight end room, right, is pretty stacked. There's a lot of good depth there. And I'm really just looking to Keanu to lead from his experience as kind of a vet in the room. But to me, it's the receiver type skills that he brings.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling. Which returning player do you expect to make the biggest jump in fall camp, where we look at him and say, oh, that dude clearly has gone to another level in his game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to stick with the offensive theme here, but LJ Martin, right? I think the running back position is primed. Would love to see a big jump from him. And then, of course, on the defensive end, my guy Isaiah Banya, right? They want to see a big jump from him physically, just dominating the line, dominating the trenches.
You are correct in the returning player who will make the biggest jump, because that was my pick.
Yeah, he picked
Isaiah Banya as well.
By the way, Isaiah, I picked Caleb Etienne because word out is he has figured this thing out, and the only thing holding him back last year was understanding the offense. I'm like, okay, well, he's able to manhandle people. He should make a giant jump. So I like all those. I like both of those. We got a defense and an offense. Okay. So here's a kind of a fun question. And you get to work out with these guys once in a while. I see him in the gym too. Who's the Mr. looks the part on this football team? Like, in other words, you see him in the weight room and you're like, oh, wow, that dude looks like a football player and looks like he can play that part at the next level. Who's your guy?
I'll tell you what. So this last weekend, had a chance to go down to the several alumni events. I saw Chase Roberts and I said, dude, you look like a linebacker. You are a linebacker. What are you doing running routes, catching the ball? His arms were bulging out of his shirt, legs were massive, and to me, he looks the part. Him and Ben Bywater must be on the same kind of training lifting regimen because those boys are getting big.
Yeah, he looks. We mentioned that just a little while ago that Chase has put on some muscle. And by the way, Isaiah, I served up on campus in a bishopric for a number of years. Every young woman in my ward says, "Can you fix me up with Chase Roberts?" They all want to be fixed. Hey. So not only does he look the part of a linebacker or a football player, he obviously looks the part of every girl wants to date him. That's how good he looks right now. So.
Yeah, there's always that one teammate that everyone says, hey, can you hook me up with him?
Yes.
Can you hook me? And Chase is that teammate.
That should be a superlative next year.
So, yes, that has to be. Who is the guy that every girl wants their friend on the team to fix them up with? I love it. We're gonna add that one next year, Isaiah.
That's fantastic.
Hey, as a defensive player, what's it like to be part of a team during a quarterback battle? Because everybody's talking about who's going to be the quarterback. From your perspective, give us a defensive player and even a defensive captain's perspective on what's that like on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I think the competition makes the defense better because you're going to get the best from both quarterbacks. So I do think that, this kind of iron sharpens iron is going to be true this year. because we have two great prospects at quarterback. And that battle is just going to make the defense better. So I always loved that, right? Back in my time, it was kind of the Tanner and Zach, and then Zach and Jaron. And looking back, reflecting, it made us better. It made the defense, work really hard. You had to kind of prepare for both. And so as a defensive guy, right, these two guys are going to go out. They're going to give it their all, and they're just going to overall make the whole team better.
Isaiah, if you had to lean one direction right now and say this is going to be the dude who is the starting quarterback on August 31st against Southern Illinois, who would you give that nod to right now on July 31st?
Good, that's a good question. And Spencer, I don't have an answer for you because I want to see some more tape, right? I haven't really done the due diligence or watched enough tape of both to say, hey, this is the guy I'm going with. Right, for me, the first 2 weeks of camp are pretty basic and generic, but week 3, right? Like that's the week that, you want to show up, you got your eye on the quarterback, like who is coming out week 3 and really performing, right? So to me, I'm kind of circling that week 3. If you ask me, in a few weeks, I bet I'd have a better answer.
Along those lines, how quickly does BYU need to name a starter? I mean, for the sake of the team, because there is some stability in knowing who the guy is, right? So in your mind, is that the timeline? By the end of week 3, do they need to name somebody, or is there a different timeline in your mind for naming the starter?
I mean, to me, week 3 is that's safe. You want to give the guys enough time to compete and to battle and to make some mistakes, but then how are they correcting those mistakes? But then that gives the team enough time to rally around the starter and to rally around the guy that's going to lead them out on the first offensive series. So I think week 3 is kind of the time that in my personal opinion, is perfect.
Isaiah Kaufusi is with us on BYU Sports Nation. So you're looking to mid-August as a time where BYU has hopefully got their starting quarterback in place. All right. Obviously, BYU needs better play at the quarterback position. And frankly, looking back on last year, they need improved play in basically every position group, Isaiah. So where do you expect BYU to improve the most in 2024?
Yeah, I think that defensive line, right? And really just kind of that front seven, the D-line and linebackers, I would love to see them stopping the run, right? I had some time with Jay Hill where we talked about the defense, and he was just so excited, right, that he's got the guys coming back, the systems in place, the processes to really, teach these players the gaps and the schemes and all the different calls. So biggest improvements, for me are obviously, up front and just winning the trenches. I think when we can do that, we'll see a ton of success this year.
So staying along that theme, BYU, especially late last year, struggled to stop the run. What has to change the most for BYU to make significant strides in that area? Because I know Jay Hill, he talks about it all the time. The very first priority for all Jay Hill defenses is teams are not going to run the football on this defense. So that wasn't the case late. What has to change? Where do they have to get the change out of this team to be better at that?
Yeah, I think for me, it's twofold. And one has kind of already happened. It's just time and experience, right? So from last year to this year, I'm sure we'll see a big improvement just having the guys around and talking and, the experience that they gained. And then the second to me is leadership, right? So would love to see, I mentioned Isaiah Banya and Tyler Batty, right? Ben Bywater, even Jack Kelly coming in to be the leaders, to hold guys accountable, to say, hey, look, no one is going to run on this defense, right? Everyone do your 111. Everyone's in the right place at the right time, max effort, do your job. And so, right, twofold for me, the experience and the time that was needed, but then the leadership to hold the guys accountable. It's just a mentality, right? And that kind of starts from the top.
I think about last year, you mentioned the front seven, but the safeties have a big role in running the alley and playing force. And last year, before they even played a game, they lost their two starters, Talon Alfrey and Micah Harper. Both of those guys are physical guys at the safety position. They're back. They're healthy. Does that make a difference, having those two guys in defending the run?
100% makes a huge difference, right? The experience that they bring, the physicality that they bring, right? Playing defense is a mentality. And, I'm actually really excited for Micah to come back, for Talon. I spent some time with Talon, and he's still, trying to learn about this leadership role and how he can, best hold his teammates accountable, how he can best, prepare for kind of the leadership role that he's being thrust into. And so, when you have hard-hitting safeties that come down and lay the wood, like that's part of the mentality. So excited about those two.
All right, and it's always good to have a few Kaufusis on the roster. Your brother Micah, Ace, is doing his thing. He's your cousin. So what's BYU football without at least one Kaufusi on the roster?
And do we not establish that you're related to 5 players on the current roster? Is that not right, Isaiah?
That's right. Yeah, 5. So, Kaufusis, we hopefully, run this world, and I'm proud of those guys that are around. It's always exciting, right, when you have family that are playing. And, I've tried my best to mentor and to kind of pass down my experiences and my knowledge to those young guys.
Oh.
Great stuff, brother.
Thanks, Isaiah. We're glad to have you on. Glad to have your insight. And when you have 5 family members, you're an insider.
Indeed.
You get all the inside info. Plus, former player, former captain, Isaiah Kaufusi. Thanks for being on with us, brother. We appreciate it.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.